Right then, so welcome to Friday night is Onion Night, of course, the home of the Giant Onion Growing Challenge, where I set a challenge to grow the biggest onions we possibly can from the variety Elsa, he says looking for the packet, Elsa from Foster Seeds. I've invited people to join in to grow the biggest onions they possibly can. Come the end, there's prizes, there's rosettes, there's bragging rights, and people have joined in, which I'm over the moon about. This is the second season running it, so if you'd like to take part, all you got to do is go to Foster Seeds, get hold of some of their Elsa onions, grow along with us. Now, tonight, I'm going to be sowing the seeds. Now, you may think, well, that's really early to sow onion seeds. The conventional ones, yes. These are giant ones, so we're trying to get an early start to get them as far ahead as we can. So in that real high growing season from May to the end of July, they're at their optimum to get away. Now, I'm gonna sow these for people, absolute beginners. All right, there's a few people have joined in and they've seen other people's videos and they've gone, crikey, they've done all sorts. Those people have probably done it before and they're trying to tweak the way they do it to try and produce as good at onions as they possibly can, going off their experience. So I thought what I'll do tonight is just go through the absolute basics for growing some onion seed. All right, then I'll touch on what I'm going to actually do myself. All right, let's get on with it. First things first, compost. Now, bearing in mind last year's winner just used spent compost from a potato bin. All right, so don't get too hung up on your compost, but sieve it through a fine sieve, 1/4 inch, 7mm, something like that, not your big 1/2 inch riddle that you may use out in the garden. So sieve it. I think that's a point to note. Don't be lazy. Sieve your compost. Right, sieve it. Now, what you're going to grow it in. Various people will do lots of different things. Some will use cell trays that are linked together. I like to use these what I'm going to use this year are these 7cm pots. I'm doing that so that I can take a pot out. I can take that one out. I can admire it, go, oh, look at my onion, or that's a bit pants, pull it out, throw it away. Now, in your packet, you'll have 60 seeds, and you're thinking, how many should I sow? All of them. Stick the lot in, because you never know what you might get. And onions will vary a lot. So the bigger choice you've got to start with, you can then whittle them down. And with these giant ones, we're only looking to keep, come the end, say 12 to 15. That way you can look after them well, and you can even whittle them down to less. Maybe put a few in your bed, you can put a few in pots to really look after them. So sow the lot, I would say. I've opened this packet because I don't know if you watched Jimmy's video, poor sod got sent carrots by mistake. But there we go. I digress. I'm going to try and keep this simple and purely on the sowing. Concentrate, Pete. Absolute simplest method. A pot. This one's 2 litre. Yeah, 2 litre, 14. put some compost in it. The other thing, just firm it down a bit. You don't have to go mad. Just get the air pockets out of it. And firm it down. The reason for that is just to give us a flat, fairly firm base to put our onion seeds on. Now, then, this is absolute basic. There's nothing added to that. It's purely just some compost. Sprinkle, I'm going to do 2 pots. So sprinkle approximately half of your seeds over the top. Simple as that. Then just put some more compost on top, about 5 mil. Doesn't have to be a lot. Purely about 5 mil. And we'll touch on a few other ways in a minute. But this is the absolute basics for anybody who's watched other people's videos thinking, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. I can assure you, if you just do this, you will get onions to germinate. Then put that in a tray, add some water to the tray and let the water soak up through till you see that is moist. Loads of water in the tray, don't be afraid of it. Now, this water is rainwater and this water has been inside. All right, so the water is the same temperature as the room. That's leading me on to the next bit, temperature. Temperature for germination. Optimum, and that's optimum, is 20 to 24 degrees. All right, now you can do that by sticking them on a heat mat. I'll move this out of the way. That's what I'm doing. Just move this out of the way. So if you're going to use a heat mat, I would suggest just a bit of that, or a bit of polystyrene or something like that. Lay your heat mat on top and put your tray on top of that. This one comes, I've literally bought this just to test something, and I'll explain that in a minute. Then you got your probe somewhere. It's all a bit of a kerfuffle, isn't it? Stick your probe in your soil, set that at 20 degrees, off you go. I've never used a heat mat for onions in my life, but I'm going to give it a go just to, I don't know, prove a point. But personally, I don't think it's necessary. I really don't, but I might be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong before. Right, I'll just chuck that out of the way a minute. Going back to the absolute basic, simple. You've got your pot, you've got your onions, a bit of compost on top, in water. Just keep it in your kitchen. In your kitchen, somewhere that's 16 to 18 degrees, 7 to 10 days, they will germinate. Simple as that. So don't stress out about adding crocodile tears or infusing it with the skins of bananas, absolute basics for somebody looking to grow onions. That is it. No heat mat, no nothing else, nothing added, just some compost. Press, sieve your compost. That's important. Press it down so you've got a level bed. Put your onion seeds on top of that. About 5 ml of compost on top of that. Just firm it down lightly in a bath of water. Leave it in the bath of water till you can feel that compost is damp. All right, it could be a few days. If you really wanted to, you could lightly water the top, but that'll soak it up, no trouble at all. All right, so that's dead simple. That is the bog standard simple way to do it. Right, what am I going to do? I'm going to do it slightly different. What a day. Only to make pricking out a bit easier. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have 30 odd onions grown in that pot, and you have to prick them out. But onions prick out really well. They don't mind it at all. All right. So what I'm going to do, as a bit of a trial, I'm going to do, because there's 15 cells in here, I'm going to do 2 trays of 15. So there'll be 30 odd seeds. I'm going to do a smaller scale of exactly what I've done there. Compost, seeds, compost. The next one, I'm going to do 2 parts compost to 1 part of vermiculite in there. And in this one, I'm going to do 2 parts compost, 1 part vermiculite, and 1 part perlite. I'm going to do the same in each, in 2 trays. This tray, I'm going to put heat under it, and this one I'm just going to leave in the kitchen. All right, and we're going to see if there's any difference. We'll be looking at the roots in the future, and we'll see how we get on. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I won't bore you with doing it because your time's precious. Right. One thing I do like to do is, instead of the compost on top, I like to cover them with vermiculite. And the reason I like to do that is because as the water soaks up, the vermiculite absorbs the water and it changes colour, and you can just easily keep an eye on the fact that the water's come up and your seeds are hydrated. And you can just touch it with your back of your hand and you can feel it's damp. Simple as that. And then just keep an eye on it, because this doesn't need any light, doesn't need any artificial lights yet. We're purely getting them to germinate. So I hope that's helped the people that are joining in for the first time. All you others that have done it before, you can make up your own concoctions, and I look forward to seeing what you do and seeing what works for you. And yeah, next week we'll be talking about grow lights. How long to keep them on, and the other thing is how high you need your tent to be, because that is very important and something you may not have considered if you're doing it for the first time. You need a fair bit of height to grow these onions on. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I won't bore you with doing it, but you can come back and you can see how I get on. And now I think I'll get on to onion news, where we have a little catch up of everything, because there's quite a bit going on. and quite a bit to see. So we'll crack on with onion news. Beauty. Right then, so time for onion news. It's terrible, isn't it? I watched that video the first bit back. I thought, oh, I missed saying that. I should have said that, but you get the idea. The one biggest thing is don't leave it in the water. All right. Once that's got damp, take it out the water and just keep an eye on the moisture levels on the top. Why is it Friday nights? I'm always late finishing, and this is always in a bit of a rush. So I do apologise, but I hope you've got the gist of what's up to. Big thanks to Elaine that I met up at Malvern for the mug. I really appreciate that. Jimmy gave me a lovely pen. If you watch back along, I test germinated my Joe Atherton seeds, and I put 5 in each of these 4 pots. I had 19 out of 20 germinated. I took out all but 1 in each pot, and this is what we got at the moment. And these were planted on the 5th of September. So there they are. Oh, one little interesting thing, something that Jen brought up. Now, she said she didn't like to see, can you see that little seed head on the top of there? Now, I do like to see it. I don't know why. I'm sure I read somewhere that it's a sign that the plant's doing all right. How that can be a sign, I don't know. But there we go. Joe Atherton's, just so that anybody's got the seed, it does grow. So that's them. Oh, I didn't say, did I? Welcome to new Onion HQ. This is the shed at the end of the house. It's attached to the house. I live in an old Coast Guard house, and this was the Coast Guard's office, built in the 1900s. So what's that? That's Edwardian, and got a little Edwardian fireplace, and I'll give you a good little tour around. I've literally just cleaned it out. You wouldn't believe the mess that was in here, and bleached down the walls. I know a few of you saw, if you watched Jason's live last night with Matty Boy with a bow tie eating those eating those chilies, it was brilliant. And I was sort of watching that while bleaching the walls, so it's probably a bit echoey. I haven't dressed the room yet. I thought I'd get that, what's she called? Kelly Hooper? Kelly Hooper will come in, or Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen in with the big cuffs. We'll dress the room, put up some photographs, have some nice things floating about. And I've got to put all the grow lights up in here and sort all that out. So this will be where Onion News comes from for the next few months. Right, that sort of explained what's going on. Yeah, take the things out of the water once it's soaked. Robert and Jen, they've received their trophies from last year. Robert sent me a photo, and Jen put hers up on her last video. I did I did take a screenshot of that to show it, but every time I did it, Jen's face was So I've covered your mouth up, Jen. I didn't think you'd appreciate the photograph that I got off the video. All right, but thanks for putting that up there. What else we got? New HQ. Yes, Rob, they've got theirs. Boom. Did screen, yeah, got that. Right, Ian Wilson, Ian's Onions channel, he put up a video, and he's starting again, built a new grow shed, bigger and better, and best of luck, Ian. And I do appreciate what you said at the end about what I do and putting this on. It is a lot of work, but I absolutely love it. It's just a brilliant community of people just trying to grow some massive onions, and let's hope this year we do. So Ian's got his sown. Jen's got hers sown. If you Jen's taking it to the next level. Fantastic. Working on what she did last year and building on that. So she is. Just go and look at her video. Just go and look at her video. Fantastic. Uh, Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm has got hers sown, and she said the grow lights are going to be. They ate the fish tank and they used to grow coral. So I've no idea, but apparently they should be good for it. And we'll be touching on grow lights next week, and hopefully I'll have all mine set up here, and we'll be explaining a few things. Because I bought, where is it? It's over there. I won't get it now, but I bought a par meter so I can measure and set and do all that good stuff. So we'll go over that as well. So Ian, Jen, Joe. Now, for the big ones, if you haven't sown yet, don't stress out. And that's pretty much all this sowing video is about, is chill out. Especially if it's the first time. Just do some nice basic things, grow some onions, and learn and watch and see other people. That's why I've started this, is so I can try and get better. It's not working very well, but I am trying. So yeah, you've got till about mid-November for the grow light ones, and don't forget there's 2 parts to the challenge. So if you want to grow without grow lights, grow without grow lights. Simple as that. And I feel you're better growing without grow lights, or trying to grow without grow lights, if you haven't got a reasonable quality of grow light. All right. And there again, we'll touch on that next week. So yeah, we got till May. Yeah, I mentioned there's 2 parts to the challenge. Right. Anybody wants to put up a video and get it added to the playlist on my channel, or get it into Onion News and get it so I can see it. You can either hashtag it with the GOGC 2526, or sometimes I don't get that. I don't get them. I don't know why, but what I always will get is if you tag me in it somewhere, either in the, just put it in the description at Patronouth, blah de blah, and I'll definitely get notified, and I'll be able to add it to the playlist that's on my channel. All right, so that's that. Oh, we are flying through. Yeah, Jimmy got Jimmy. Do you watch Jimmy? She couldn't make it up. Foster sent him carrot seeds. He got all excited. He was going to do a big video of sowing and everything, and yeah, they sent him carrot seeds. So he sowed all the other ones, the Joe Athertons and all the rest of it. I haven't shown my Joe Atherton sowing. I really just tonight wanted to concentrate on sowing simply for new people. All right, that's what I hope I've achieved, possibly. Right. Yeah. Well, I've mentioned Jason and that chili live with Metty eating it. That was hilarious. I really enjoyed that. Right, let's go on with some new contestants. Steve. Steve's at Allotment Garden Northeast. He loves growing onions, so hopefully he'll give this a good crack, and look forward to seeing your videos, Steve. Garden Novice, plot 32, just got his seeds, so he'll be up and running soon. Forest Edge Surveyors, watch from afar. Last year, and it's this year's taking part. That's what I find quite interesting. I know it's a tiny channel, a small challenge, and all the rest of it, but we generally get about 250 people watch. And I'm just wondering if there's people on there, like good growers. I don't know who. I've not really thought about this much. But there's a lot of people watch, and I wonder if they're going, ah, you need to do that. No, 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 you need to do that. If that's you, please let us know. Let me know. If I'm doing anything wrong, tell me. You know, I can take it. I don't need a safe word. You know, I've got no trigger words. I can, as long as it's constructive criticism, I don't mind. If you're rude, forget it. I'll just delete you. But it don't bother me. It really doesn't. So if you're out there and you're watching, if you're watching for the first time, say hi. And if you've got any advice for anybody, please, please share it in the comments. You know, we're just trying to get better. Right, I got waylaid there. So, yeah, he was watching from afar. So crafty gardening times. We'll be having a go this year. So, welcome to you. Yeah, if you've got a channel name that hasn't got your name in it, would you mind just putting your name in it? Because I like calling people by their name, and it seems a bit odd calling people like Mad Dog, or what's the other one that comments a bit? Something. What was she called? She does something to do with gaming. Something lady. Oh, this. I'm really sorry because I haven't prepared this, and I usually like to. Any key lady. Any key lady. What's your name? I'd love to know your name. I don't like calling people any key lady. It seems a bit weird. Right. I'm nearly done, honest. I'm getting a bit excited now because this is all kicking off, isn't it? Everybody's doing stuff where Linda MacLeod, where Kelsey onions were bred on the Scottish border. Yes, all right. Calm down, Linda. We won't forget that. She's had a bit of an idea because she's a bit limited on space. She isn't doing the challenge this year, but I did send her some of my Joe Atherton onions, and she suggested doing a little bit of what did she call it? A subsection, a little bit of a subsection for the people that have got my Joe Atherton seeds. So if you've got the Joe Atherton seeds, we'll do that. We'll keep a little note of how they're getting on, and perhaps have a little weigh up at the end of that. Right, I've probably waffled on long enough. I think I've covered everything. It's mad, isn't it? I could talk about onions for ages and different ways of doing things, and maybe we ought to have a live. We should do that, maybe. Have a little live, and we can have a little talk about a few things, and maybe get Jen involved. Maybe Jen wouldn't mind coming on as a guest on the live, as she was last year's winner, and maybe Robert, because Robert did it without grow lights and grew a great onion and great potatoes and great carrots. He just grows great. Right, that's it. I am going to stop. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. If you made it this far, you are troopers. We'll see you next week to have a bit of a chat about grow lights and all things onion. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers and gone.